indictments, convictions of former President, incoming President Trump were by a jury of his peers. Thank you, Ms. Bondi, for being here today, and I too would like to welcome your family and friends who are here.
Thank you.
Appreciated the opportunity to meet yesterday to learn about your priorities and discuss a number of issues that are important to me. But I got to tell you, as I reflected on our conversation yesterday and as I've observed the hearing today, I continue to have significant reservations on your ability to function as a truly independent Attorney General for your friend. Let's say you keep referring to him, your friend, President-elect Trump. So I hope you can address some of these concerns through your responses to my questions here. Now, the first issue area is something that we didn't get a chance to touch on yesterday. So I actually want to follow up on some of Senator Durbin's questions from earlier about the 2020 election. And to be specific, on the day after the 2020 presidential general election, you traveled to Philadelphia to appear alongside President Trump's then attorney, Rudy Giuliani. And together, you falsely asserted that President Trump had, quote, won Pennsylvania in that election. Now, I want to be clear, at that moment, there were still at least 1 million ballots left to be counted in Pennsylvania. Of course, President Biden went on to win the state by more than 80,000 votes. But in the following days, even after the results were clear, you continued to double down on the big lie, promoting falsehoods about election fraud and cheating without offering any actual evidence. And I remember it clearly because I served as California Secretary of State at the time, and I invited anybody associated with the Trump campaign who was making these claims to come forward with evidence of irregularities in the election or massive voter fraud. 4 years later, I still have seen none. So I ask you today, do you have any evidence of election fraud or irregularities in the 2020 election?
So, First Senator.
Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
First Senator.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
First Senator. I'm so sorry about the fires to you and Senator Schiff and what you're going through in your states. I have to say that.
I appreciate that, but my clock is ticking and I want to hear your answer.
All of our hearts go out to everyone in California for what you're facing right now. I'm glad you asked the question about Pennsylvania.
It's a yes or no question.
I was
Do
hoping
you have evidence, yes or no?
Senator, I was hoping you'd ask the question.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled to Pennsylvania.
Do you have evidence, yes or no?
I traveled, Senator, to Pennsylvania.
Okay. You're not answering my question. If you have no evidence to offer, let me ask you this. Will you now retract your previous statements that Trump won Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, yes or no?
Oh, Senator, I traveled to Pennsylvania, and let me tell you what I saw firsthand.
Yes or no?
I didn't talk about California because I was not in California. I talked about—
Yes or no? Last time I'm going to ask.
I talked about Pennsylvania because
Mr.
I
Chair,
was there.
I'm going to move on because she's clearly not
court
answering my
order
questions. And
to
I want to know,
observe.
colleagues, for everybody, members of the committee and everybody watching, that the attorney who stood beside Mr. Giuliani was making very similar statements. And he has since been disbarred from multiple jurisdictions for making these false claims about the 2020 election in court. And like Mr. Giuliani, as you've noted today, you've taken an oath to uphold the Constitution just as an attorney. And now you're asking us to consider you to serve as the chief law enforcement officer in our country. So it's imperative, Ms. Bondi, that you subscribe to facts and evidence and not politically convenient conspiracy theories. Your job will be, your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then we'll move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking—
Padilla here, making Californians incredibly proud by holding Bondi's feet to the fire. No pun there, but saying, look, Giuliani was spreading the same lies you're spreading, and he was disbarred, and now you want us? You want us to confirm you to be our nation's top lawyer? This is where it doesn't register with these people. I'm really hoping that because it's very clear that Bondi's going to do Trump's bidding, and I'm hoping that once Trump is out of office, once this all kind of settles, and the Justice Department can kind of get back to investigating these crooks, that they'll hold these people accountable.
May I speak? You
I
cut
want
me
to ask
off
you the
when I
next
was
question.
speaking.
You can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well, I'd
now,
like
when
to
we met
answer
yesterday,
the previous one, Senator.
when we met yesterday,
You pointed your finger at me and
you
said
did not
you were
seem
speaking.
to be familiar
Let me answer
with
my
the
question. I'm not going to be
Citizenship
bullied by you,
Clause, the
Senator
14th
Padilla.
Amendment of the United States of America, which was deeply disappointing.
I guess you
And I'm
didn't want
hoping
to
you're
hear
more
my
familiar
answer
with it
about
today
Pennsylvania.
after I gave an opportunity to study overnight. So can you tell me and this committee what the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment says?
Senator, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm not here to do your homework and study for you. If I am confirmed
No,
as
you're
Attorney
the one
General,
asking for a confirmation
hey,
vote,
you
ma'am.
cut me off. Can I please finish?
What does the 14th Amendment say?
Senator, the 14th Amendment, we all know, addresses birthright citizenship. I've been a state prosecutor. I've been a state AG. I look forward to, even given your remarks today, working with you and the people of California if I am confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America. I didn't take your homework assignment. I'm sorry. I was preparing for today.
So on the 14th Amendment, now you've testified repeatedly to this committee that you will uphold the laws of this country and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do you believe birthright citizenship is the law of the land, and will you defend it regardless of a child born in the United States, regardless of their parents' immigration status?
Senator, I will study birthright citizenship. I would love to meet with you regarding
Ma'am, you're
birthright
asking us
citizenship.
to
Can I
continue
answer
to
the
serve as the
question?
Attorney General of the United States, and you still need to study the 14th Amendment of the Constitution? That is not helping me have more confidence in your ability to do this job. One other immigration-related question, and I'll steer clear of the
I
Constitution
have one
and the
regarding
law.
that I'd like to
Senator
talk about.
Hirona asked you earlier, but I don't think you answered her question. Can you please tell us, do you agree with the statement that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, yes or no?
I did not say that.
I did not say that you said that. I'm asking if you agree with it, yes or no.
I did not say that.
Do you agree with it, yes or
Senator,
no?
my great-grandparents are immigrants.
Do you agree with it,
They
yes or no?
came here from Sicily
Do you agree
through
with it,
Ellis
yes or
Island
no?
when they were teenagers.
Do you agree with it, yes or no?
Senator, let me answer the question.
Yes or no? It's
My
real simple.
great-grandparents came here, immigrated to this country from Sicily, recently went and found each of their birth certificates. We are a nation made up of immigrants. Do I believe immigrants are poisoning our country? No, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I can't wait for the
Hey!
second round.
She did it. She did it, everybody. She answered a Democratic senator's question straight up. Oh, Pam Bondi. Oh, confirm her right away. My goodness. After dozens of attempts, Padilla finally gets an answer from her. If you're watching this as, say, like a clip, independently, if you haven't been watching this stream, if you haven't been watching this hearing, she has resisted Democratic questions throughout this hearing. Questions on the election, questions on statements that Donald Trump has made, or the incoming FBI director, I don't know why I'm blanking on that guy's name, Kash Patel, statements he has made about his what he wants to do with the FBI, or the enemies list that he has. And it's always, I'm not familiar with those statements. I'm not familiar with that. Just like she said here. She's not familiar with Donald Trump saying that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, even though it was covered for months, because he said it for months, used Adolf Hitler's remarks for months during this campaign. But when it comes to when it comes to her confirmation hearing about basically, essentially, she's not supposed to be Donald Trump's lawyer or attorney general, but that's what she's going to be. It's all of a sudden I have no idea. And so Democrats have been, pulling and trying to get her to answer their questions, to give us just like, and this is very basic shit. Like, hey, we probably shouldn't be talking and using the same talking points as Adolf Hitler, right? Oh, well, I'm not familiar with those statements. And so if you think that Padilla was being combative here, it's because Bondi has for hours been sitting here and resisting Democrats on very basic things. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? Did President Biden win the election? She can't say it, right? Just like she doesn't know about these statements about immigrants poisoning the blood. So she finally gives an answer. And it should have come hours ago when she was asked about this. But she resisted, and that is why Padilla has been so kind of combative with her. And then let's just really quickly, before we get back into this hearing, she doesn't hold any power in these hearings. All of the power is with the senators. They control this time. You don't get to speak over them. They will just speak because you are there to convince them to confirm you for a position. These senators are the ones with the power here. So Pam Bondi talking about how Padilla's pointing his finger and talking over her. Yeah, that's because she's not really a witness, but she's not kind of adhering to the procedures of the Senate. If they don't like the way you're answering a question because you're not answering a question, they can just move on. They don't have to give you time to answer a question. They control the time. Padilla here making me, as a Californian, very, very proud.
Same, Senator. Thank you. No, sir.